This is our first look at the all-new Peugeot E-3008. It's just been launched and it's going to be available initially as an electric version. It'll have two batteries, starting with a 73 kilowatt hour battery, providing a 525 kilometer range. After that, there's also going to be a larger 98 kilowatt hour battery, delivering a 700 kilometer range. This is going to be an efficient range monster when it goes on sale. That's the sort of thing that really will just totally do away with any kind of range anxiety that you might have. It'll also charge very, very quickly. Up to 160 kilowatts means it can charge at 100 kilometers in 10 minutes. So you'll be looking at going from 20 to 80% in just half an hour with this car. The styling, we have to talk about how this thing looks, because around the front you have a much more angular, kind of meaner looking face to it. You've got the 3008 logo across the front here, the new, or relatively still new Peugeot badge, and all this kind of mesh-like grille across the front here. You've got the 3-claw LED pixel headlights. It includes the daytime running lights that come down, and obviously it has the latest in LED lighting technology. But I also want to show you the wheels, because these are very, very cool. Available in 19 or 20-inch wheels. They have a very distinctive design. When you see these actually moving around, they really do stand out. They look great. But the big thing really about the 3008 this time round is that it's kind of got this kind of sportier coupe-like roofline now. So the last one, it was basically a very similar shape or profile to the 5008. That's all changed. The new 3008 has this much more sloping roofline here, partly to do with aerodynamics and partly to give the car a little bit more of a sporty design, a bit of a different shape, and that's really going to make it stand out. Around the back you do have that sloping rear window as well. It does look quite sporty from behind. Crucially though, it doesn't lose out any space in the back. You still have a 520 litre boot in the back. So it's very, very practical from a family perspective. It's a good wide aperture and it's a fairly flat load level as well. That's pretty good if you need to get bulkier items in. The rear seats also have a 40-20-40 split fold as well. So if you do need to get a little bit more luggage in or bulkier items in, it's very easy to do. The back of the design, it looks equally as distinctive as the front. You've got the Peugeot word mark spelled all the way across here, E-3008, a new kind of font that we see on Peugeots, and you've also got the 3-claw design as well across the taillights. And I quite like how they wrap all the way around the side here. Gives it a little bit more detail, makes it stand out, especially with these sharp lines here as well. This is one of the sportier GT models. So you can see you've got glossy black material here. There will be a couple of different specifications available, so check out our website and you get more detail on those. Here on the inside is where you'll see one of the bigger changes in the new E-3008. First thing you'll notice is this floating 21-inch display. It looks very, very impressive. It's a big change from what we've had before, and it's the part of the all-new iCockpit design. You still have this kind of familiar now squarish steering wheel. There's new touch controls on it, and it still has this flat bottom and a flat top, so you can have an unobstructed view. And to be honest, sitting in the driver's seat, this is a much better way of having the iCockpit. It's much more easier to use and easier to view than the predecessor, and obviously because of that you don't have a head-up display. It sits here floating above. It's really nicely backlit here as well. You can also see how that lighting goes all the way across the dashboard here. Looks very, very impressive even in daylight conditions, and you've got a lot of very nice fabric materials here all on top of the dashboard and all along here on the center console. There's only a little sliver of this piano black material, which means it's got your electric handbrake, your volume control, drive mode selector, and then touch controls for your rear and front windscreen demisting. And on top of that you then have these digital toggles here, so these can be personalized depending on what you want to have. They're basically quick functions to get to your home button, your media, your climate control, anything like that. But really sitting in here, it feels a bit more spacious than the last 3008. You don't feel quite as hemmed in. You've got a nice bit of open area here as well. Your cup holders, you've still got space here underneath, a storage area between the seats. The seats themselves actually have quite a nice bit of support, and on top models they have adaptive bolsters here as well. And for the first time you can also specify ventilated seats in the 3008, whereas before you could only get heated seats. So that's in the summer months, it's going to be a very nice option to have. Obviously it's going to be all electric powertrains initially, but there will also be series hybrid and plug-in hybrid models too. Despite the sloping roofline, there's actually very good amounts of headroom in here. I've still got a couple of inches left and I'm 5'8", 5'9", pretty average height. Obviously being electric means you've got a fully flat floor in the back as well. Middle seat loses out a little bit of legroom because of where the rear seats are positioned and the back of the center console, but the two outer seats have a lot of space in here, and the front seats are kind of sculpted in a way that they give you a little bit more knee room as well. Windows are nice and big. You can get a panoramic sunroof as well, lets a little bit more light in. You've got a very good view between the seats as well. If you don't need to use the middle seat, obviously the usual stuff, you can pop down dual cup holders here and an armrest. And both of the two outer seats also have ISOFIX points, so it's very easy to install a child seat. So that's our first look at the all-new Peugeot E-3008. What do you think about it? Get involved in the comments, tell us what you think. We'd love to know what your thoughts are on this new electric SUV. If you want to know more about it, head over to our website. It's CompleteCar.ie. You'll find it linked in the description below, and it's a great resource for finding your next new car. Thanks for watching.